Welcome to Everyday German. In this lesson, you'll learn more everyday phrases and vocab in German and start to understand basic sentence structure. You'll also know how to introduce yourself, learn how to greet someone, know when to be formal or informal, and learn some more helpful words and phrases. Die Begrüßung. I've broken this down into 4 major categories. In the mornings, you would say Guten Morgen. If you wanted to be informal, you would say morgen, but be careful when you use this. I'll go into this later. Again, Guten Morgen, morgen. During the day, and this is the ones that will be used most commonly, is Guten Tag. Informally, Tag. Guten Tag, Tag. In the evening, you'd say Guten Abend, or Abend. And at night, you'd say Gute Nacht, or Nacht. Here are some more all-purpose greetings for friends and family. Hallo means hello. Moin can mean hello or goodbye. And Grüß Gott is a hello that is commonly used in the south of Germany. Let's go over these one more time just so we can understand the meaning of each one. You can see I've color-coded them so you can see what each word means. Guten Morgen means good morning. Guten Tag means good day. Guten Abend means good evening. Gute Nacht means good night. Hallo means hello. Moin also means hello. And Grüß Gott means greet God, and again, this is only common in the south of Germany. Let's go through these one more time. Guten Morgen, Guten Tag, Guten Abend, Gute Nacht, Hallo, Moin, Grüß Gott. Before we move on, we should touch on the issue of formal versus informal. As I mentioned in the previous video, Germans can be sticklers for rules and like structure, so it's often good to be formal with people you don't know. Generally, you want to use formal language with anyone outside of your group of friends and family, even people you see regularly, neighbors or coworkers. The rule of thumb is if you don't know whether to use formal or informal language, use formal. And the case for informal is friends and family, and if you are in an easygoing setting, you can try and use informal. Now we have the first part of the conversation. What is your name? You can see how it's broken down into informal and formal, so try and remember the rules. Informal for what is your name is Wie heißt du? You can see it's again color-coded. Wie heißt du? For the formal, it's Wie heißen Sie? What is your name? Remember the rules we talked about earlier. Wie heißen Sie? Sie is generally a much more formal and polite way of saying you, so keep that in mind. Next we have the introductions. Die Vorstellung. Again, it's broken down into informal and formal, and I've bolded the formal additions in the second part. Informal, there's 2 main versions that you'll hear. Hallo, ich heiße Jonas. Hello, I am Jonas. Again, hallo, ich heiße Jonas. Another one you might hear is Hallo, mein Name ist Jonas. Hello, my name is Jonas. For formal, instead of saying hello, you'd say Guten Tag, which means good day, and you'd say Ich heiße Jonas Schneider. You'd add the last name. Again, Guten Tag, ich heiße Jonas Schneider. For the second one, we have similar additions. Guten Tag, mein Name ist Jonas Schneider. Guten Tag, mein Name ist Jonas Schneider. Now we have the next part of this conversation. How are you? Nice to meet you. Informally, it would be Hallo, wie geht es dir? Hello, how are you? Hallo, wie geht es dir? You can look at the color codes if you want to know which word means exactly what. Formally, that would be Hallo, wie geht es Ihnen? Again, Hallo, wie geht es Ihnen? That is hello, how are you? Now let's move on to nice to meet you. Nice to meet you is schön dich kennenzulernen. That's informal. Schön dich kennenzulernen. The formal version is schön Sie kennenzulernen. Again, schön Sie kennenzulernen. You'll notice how we used sie and ihn instead of dir and dich. This is sort of what I mentioned before. Sie is a much more polite way of saying you. As I hope your response to the previous part of the conversation is I'm doing well, let's cover how to say that. Mir geht es gut is I'm doing well, and this can be used for formal settings or informal settings. Mir geht es gut. Mir geht es gut. Now, if you want to be polite, you'll remember your thank yous and your you're welcomes. So let's cover those, because remember, Germans are big sticklers for politeness. First we have thank you. If you want to say thank you, you can say danke, which means thank you or thanks. If you're very thankful, you can say danke schön, which means thank you very much. Or you could say danke sehr, which means thanks a lot. If you want to say you're welcome, you can say bitte, which means you're welcome. Bitte sehr means you're very welcome. Bitte schön also means you're very welcome. And if you really want to be polite, you can say gern geschehen, which means my pleasure. But be careful. Saying bitte means please in most other settings. Bitte only means you're welcome in very defined settings, such as the conversation we were having before. If you want to cover the full range of conversation, you also need to know how to say goodbye. Informally, it would be tschüss, which means bye. Bis später means see you later, and ciao is sort of a version of tschüss, which also means bye. Let's look at those again. Tschüss, bis später, ciao. One more time, because these can be hard. Tschüss, bis später, ciao. Now let's look at the formal version. Remember the rules we had above. Auf Wiedersehen, which means goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Now let's look at some useful phrases to remember if you ever visit Germany. The first one is Entschuldigen Sie, which means excuse me. Entschuldigen Sie. The next one is Können Sie mir bitte helfen, which means could you please help me. Können Sie mir bitte helfen. The next one is Sprechen Sie Englisch, which means do you speak English? Notice how we used Sie here, because we're talking to someone we don't know and we want to be formal. Again, sprechen Sie Englisch. Next we have Wie viel kostet das, which means how much does that cost? Wie viel kostet das? It's important to remember that in Germany they use euros and not dollars, so just keep this in mind. Next we have Wo ist die Toilette, which means where is the restroom? Wo ist die Toilette? Another good one is Ich komme aus Amerika. This way you can let people know that you're from America. Ich komme aus Amerika. Next we have Ich spreche nicht viel Deutsch, which means I don't speak a lot of German. Since you're learning still, you might want to tell people and they can help you out. Again, ich spreche nicht viel Deutsch. Next we have Was würden Sie empfehlen, which means what would you recommend? Was würden Sie empfehlen? This can be particularly useful in restaurants or attractions where the local people can tell you what they like to do best. Let's finish our look at conversations by talking about things that are interesting to you. I've created sort of a sentence starter for you, and then some words you can use to fill in the blank. Feel free to look up more on your own. This is just a starting place. So, in German, ich mag means I like. So you can say, ich mag Deutschland. That would mean I like Germany. Ich mag Autos, cars. Ich mag Fußball, soccer. Ich mag Kunst, which means art. Ich mag Eiscreme. Ich mag Musik. Ich mag amerikanisches Fußball. Ich mag das. Ich mag das means I like that, so you could express it for any object you see around you. If you want, you can look up more of these. These are just some great starting places for you. If you're interested in even more about this topic, check out all of these links that are in the presentation. Thank you so much. Cheers.